Remember, protect yourself.
Here are the 5 qualifiers for the $27,000 first prize in today's Kodak Invitational. Scott Devers, 25 years old, from Centerville, Indiana. He's up on top. Marshall Holman, one of the PBA Tour's millionaires, going for his 21st win. 85 Player of the Year, Mike Aulby, the lefty from Indianapolis, Indiana, qualified 3rd. Pete Weber, the leading money winner. Pete can go over the $750,000 mark in his career today. Purvis Granger, at age 23, goes for his first PBA crown. NBC is proud to bring you the Fall Tour. 5 of the next 6 weeks, we'll be bringing you the action of the PBA, and this afternoon, we're in Rochester, New York. The PBA Fall Tour is sponsored by Kodak Film. There's no better way to picture your life. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By AMF, sponsor of the AMF Black Angle Sweepstakes. Details at participating pro shops. And by True Value Hardware. It's more than a name, it's our way of doing business. And here we are at the Kodak Invitational, the Lilac City, Rochester, New York. And we're at Marcel's Olympic Bowl. This is the 3rd consecutive year we've been here. Hello, everybody. Jay Randolph, along with Hall of Famer Earl Anthony. And Earl, boy, we look forward to this one.
We do, Jay, and it's really great to be back. We're very fortunate. We have a very strong field today. We have 2 left-handers, Mike Aulby and Scotty Devers, Scotty being the leader, as you mentioned. But we also have 2 potential bowler of the years in the field today, and Pete Weber and, of course, Marshall Holman. And no one wants it more than Marshall Holman. He's never been bowler of the year. He's been one of the most consistent players on the tour for a number of years, but he's never had that one honor that he really wants more than anything else in his career.
Well, we look forward to this afternoon. Our first match of the day has Purvis Granger going up against Pete Weber. They call him Never Nervous Purvis, from down in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Never nervous. He was a little nervous last night, Jay, in the position round match, and he bowled Marshall Holman at that point. And Marshall really put it on him last night, to see if he gets a little stronger today.
He leaves the 7-pin. This is the 2nd championship final of this year for Purvis. His high game this week, 257, his 4th career championship round appearance.
You'll notice that Purvis might be the only player on the telecast today that will switch balls for his spares. And the reason a player will do that, he'll use a very smooth surface bowling ball that he can keep on line, so the ball won't hook. He can keep it directly at the pin. All you have to do is hit it. And the reason I mention this is a friend of mine named Abe Lemons, who's the coach of the Oklahoma City University basketball team. And really a heck of a nice guy. He asked me about that, and I just figured that he knows a lot of basketball, but not a lot of bowling.
Here's Weber starting off with a strike.
One of the real classic games here, Jay. The high arm swing, but great fundamentals. Look how high that arm swing is. Look how low he gets at the foul line. Tremendous wrist roll over the ball. One of the strongest releases in bowling. Maybe the best player in the world right now.
Yes, truly one of the most talented players. At 25 years old, Florissant, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis. His dad, of course, the Hall of Famer. Pete's 8th year on tour. That's a good way to start for Weber. Leading money winner, and, you know, he had to take a break. He laid out about 6 weeks because of some personal problems, yet he's still headed for Bowler of the Year honors if he keeps going this way.
And he won one of the big ones, the Firestone Tournament of Champions. And as I mentioned, Jay, he's got so much talent, it's just hard to imagine anybody being better than Pete Weber.
And Granger strikes on lane 34. Granger on the TV pairs. 256 this week, but as you always like to remind me as we look at his career earnings, what's happened this week doesn't make any difference now.
That's right. What happened yesterday has no bearing on today. Lane conditions will change daily, and this is what makes the best players in the world what they are. They adjust extremely well to changing or varying lane conditions.
Both players looking very good here in the early going. Granger, 5'11", 150. And Weber, 5'7", 130. This is a rather tiny field of 5 we have.
It sure is, Jay. You add them all together, and they might make one good lineman on the football team, like the refrigerator.
For Weber.
Now, Pete was pretty happy with the result of that shot, obviously. They put him back in the lead, but the important thing, the reason he was so happy, is he didn't really roll the ball the way he wanted to, and he tugged it a little bit. Now, watch the angle the ball goes down the lane. That's inside of the line he was playing on the first 2 balls, and he thought it's not going to get back, but it did, and there's the power of Pete Weber's bowling ball, throwing all the pins on top of that 7-pin.
We did not have a 300 game here this week. A 300 game this afternoon would be worth $100,000 from our friends at True Value Hardware.
Something has bothered. It's background noise. There's some people moving around back there, and he just wants a little quiet.
44 titles among the finalists here today. Devers with 1, Holman with 20, Albee with 13, Weber has 10, and Granger has none.
Now, remember the shot he made on lane 34, more direct to the pocket. This one, knowing that he made a mistake and got away with it, this time he made an adjustment and he sent it too wide, and the ball didn't get back. Way out near the channel, it's just too far down the lane to get back to the pocket. Almost impossible spare there, Jay.
Yes, the 2-8-10, and Weber is open here in the 4th. We'll be back with more of the Kodak Invitational from the Olympic Bowl right after these messages.
My mom always made me feel better, no matter what.
My mom was easy to love.
My mom used to sing me to sleep at night. Sometimes I really miss that.
She's beautiful, my mom.
She'd hold me and make it all better again.
My mother's the most gentle person I ever knew. When was the last time you took a picture of your mom?
Be right back, Pop.
This bud's for all that you do.
Hey, Pete, come here. This here?
Hey, my glove.
I found out Pop worked overtime to pay for it. He was always knocking himself out to give us something better.
Sounds a lot like you.
Budweiser, the king of beers,
Hey, Pop.
salutes everyone who's ever worked for more than just a paycheck.
Thanks. I think that's my line.
This bud's for you.
A bowler's greatest enemy, lane conditions. Difficult, changing, unpredictable. But there's a ball that handles it all. The AMF angle. Urethane control, urethane hitting power. Devastating on any lane condition. #1 total winner on the Winter Pro Tour over the past 5 years. Don't be left in the past. Hundreds of thousands of bowlers have chosen the Black Angle to get better scores. The AMF Black Angle at your bowling pro shop. The angle strikes again.
Here's Pete Weber bowling in the 5th frame, down 15 pins.
Jay, both players, it appears, have lost their concentration a little bit. When Weber was disturbed by some bowling, and we have a split center here, folks, and by that I mean that there is 2 sides to the center, and there are some people bowling in the background, and the noise was bothering him. He hesitated, started over, and he got that big split in the 4th frame. And since then, both players seem to have lost their concentration for some reason or the other, and they're not making the shots that were in the opening part of the match.
Granger is up by 15 pins. Pete said that he liked being in the number 4 spot because he hasn't done very well from the top spot. He is 1-7 in his career from the top spot. He's won over $164,000 this year. And the 10 pin is standing for him.
And he's back in the pocket, but with a little more ball speed. And that's one of Pete's major adjustments. In his game, it's very important that he keep the ball on line a long way down the lane because he gets so much hard roll on the back. And as you can see, the ball was late, came in behind the head pin, left the 10. lot of ball speed to cover the 10 pin.
Granger leading by 16. Granger had arthroscopic knee surgery in September and is coming back in fine fashion, wearing a brace on his knee. And the 7. Purvis joined the PBA Tour after his 18th birthday, and as a junior bowler, he was Bowler of the Year, 80, 81, and 82 down in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's Cajun country down there, and they enjoy their sports.
As you can see, he goes cross lane, different ball, and a lot of ball speed. All he has to do is hit those 1-pin spares. Two distinctly different styles or rolls on the ball here today, Jay, on these two players. Purvis Granger rolls the ball very much end over end and more direct than Pete Weber. Pete Weber likes to get the ball well down the lane and make it turn over very hard on the back. Purvis obviously then has to be more accurate and consistent with his ball speed. Weber can create more area. It's just who gets the breaks on the corner pins more than anything else right now.
Ah, that's very smooth there for Purvis Granger. Granger in the lead. More in just a moment.
Cold pills travel all through your body before they relieve your stuffed nose. But Dristan nasal spray works faster. Plus, it has a special new ingredient to soothe and moisturize nasal passages. Dristan, relief right on the nose.
We got what it takes. When you've been in a neighborhood as long as I have, customers become more than faces. They become friends. It's great to know that you've given families a familiar place to go for reliable hardware and sound advice for a lot of years. There's a comfortable hometown feeling that can't be bought or imitated. You just know when you fit in somewhere, when you really belong, no matter what changes go on around you.
We got what it takes, true value.
Bob, I need a trainer.
How about Eddie?
He's just a kid.
So was I.
You've worked long and hard to get there. When the time comes, you hope you're ready.
You make America work. This bus for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This bus for you.
Americans buy lots of imported cars. Isn't it nice to know that Napa has the parts right here when you need them? Don't miss the boat on parts for imports. Come to Napa.
Dee Dee Weber on the right there. And she, of course, Pete's beautiful wife. They have 2 children, Nicole and Ashley. And on the left, the familiar visage of the Hall of Famer, Dick Weber. Dick defeated Pete 249 to 235 in their match here this week.
I think he was trying to make sure that Pete knew who the boss was in the family.
Gotta hurry, and it does. A big strike in the 7th for Weber, and he is down 15.
You know, as we watch Pete Weber make that shot again, I've noticed that was a great shot there. He really got through that one well. Good projection, good ball speed, and Pete looks like he's relaxed again. And the reason I mention that, Jay, is I've noticed over the years, being around this game as a professional sport, that it tends to help the experienced player to have the commercial break and hurt the inexperienced player. He tends to get more nervous. The experienced player tends to settle down and figure out what's wrong with his game.
Does come back on target.
I'll tell you what, Jay, I think he was more surprised than anybody else that ball got back to the pocket. That ball almost went in the channel, and it was down the lane a good 45 to 50 feet before it made the break back to the pocket. Here we go. Watch this one, folks. You don't think Pete Weber can make a ball rev up? Watch the reaction on his face. Oh, yeah.
Granger's lead is now 5. High with this one and leaves the 10 pin.
While we were away at a commercial break earlier in the match, he crossed over for his third strike in the fourth frame to get him the lead. Almost did it again, which would have put him in another really dominant position after 8 frames. Didn't quite get the same break he did earlier, though, Jay.
+5 for Granger as we go to the wire in this first match. First prize, $27,000. $14,000 for second, $8,000 for third. And we drop down to $6,500 for fourth and $5,500 for fifth. Granger has a possible best of 237. Weber a possible 242. Granger faltering here.
Now, it appeared that something bothered Purvis Granger in that shot, or he just was upset with himself for not getting through the ball properly. The ball just didn't react at all for him. Now, here as you see again, he switches balls for the spare. He's going to throw it hard and straight.
Going for the 2-4-5. All right.
Again, you see Purvis Granger's ball covering a difficult spare, one of the toughest for the pros, especially since they use the urethane ball so much now and the ball tends to hook so much. It's really more difficult to make the spares, and takes a lot of ball speed and good control. Pete Weber with a chance to take the lead through 9 frames.
Won the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
Doesn't like that?
That was high. Leaves the 3-pin.
Pete's having some problems with his timing here, and he knows it. And he started well, got into little laps there, came back strong, and he's really struggling with his footwork. Just doesn't seem to be able to get to the foul line where he's comfortable, and that's why he's pulling the ball every once in a while.
Finds himself down by 3. Look at the scoreboard. This is the first match of this Kodak Invitational. Rochester, New York. The hospitality always marvelous here. They had the Pro-Am this week, and last weekend the youth bowling clinics here. This is a area of the country where they really enjoy the bowling game. And he leaves the 2.
Pete, as I mentioned, has lost a little bit of that timing touch. Now that ball, he did just the opposite. You can see the rotation on the ball. It's very much from right to left. In other words, he got around the ball too much with his wrist, got too much side rotation. The more side rotation the ball has, the longer it skids before it grips the lane. That's why he didn't quite get back to the pocket. He's trying different things. Nothing seems to be working for him. I think he's making adjustments off bad timing, Jay.
He will become the 4th all-time money winner, passing Mike Durbin today, no matter what position he finishes in here. That's got to hurt. No, it didn't get there, and he's a little disgusted with himself.
And that was really a major mistake for him. He looked like he just kind of gave up on that shot, and he put Purvis Granger in a position where he really doesn't even need a strong mark here. He has to make, obviously, a mark, a spare or a strike to win the match, but he doesn't need a good pin count. If Pete had struck on his count ball and shot 210, Purvis Granger would have had to pay a lot more attention.
Well, the total is 205 for Weber. Granger needing the mark for victory.
That's trouble.
He is high again. That's the 3rd time. He leaves the 5-pin.
3rd time, all in the same lane, and it looks like he's kind of setting the ball short, steering it, trying to be too careful with it, Jay. And Purvis has, as I mentioned again, doesn't have a lot of experience on television, as opposed to Pete Weber. But he was very fortunate that Pete opened the door for him in the 10th frame.
He was one of the top rookies on tour last year. Well, he needs 3 pins.
I think he can probably handle that. Purvis, they call him Never Nervous Purvis or something. You think you mentioned that?
That's right. That's his nickname.
I don't care how many times you've been on the television bowling for a championship in front of a national audience, you get nervous.
Granger is the winner of this first match with a score of 210. Pete Weber at 205 going down. Granger will advance to the second match of the day, and he'll go up against the left-hander Mike Aulby. We'll be back right after this.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all of the leading brands. None get rid of dandruff better than Selsun Blue.
Green Bay, Wisconsin, 20 below. The last place you'd want to be with a cold, unless you're the Green Bay Packer backers. So we asked them to try Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
That stuff just cleared out my head.
Should have found it a long time ago. Got rid of my aches and pains.
Straight up my runny nose. Alka-Seltzer Plus, that's all I ever needed.
8 of every 10 Packer backers who tried it switched to Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds.
If you could ask
for Toyota quality and get city smart and country tough in one powerful package. Toyota 4Runner. With 4-wheel drive and room for 5, 4Runner commutes, carries, and conquers all roads. 4Runner, #1 in customer satisfaction for 2 years running. Now who's looking out for #1?
Toyota.
Toyota, who could ask for anything more?
I'm stuffed.
Before and Afrin. Get unstuffed and stay sharp. What Afrin does in 5 minutes takes Sudafed over an hour. It's the #1 recommended nasal spray.
There's the way this first match turned out here this afternoon. Granger will move on to go against Mike Aulby. As we always like to do, bring you up to date on what has happened and transpired this week here. The top 24. And Michael Treniski from Fulton, New York, picking up 1325. Don Gianello. Tom Baker, the defending champion. Buffalo. Dick Weber picked up 1800. Dale Eagle, he wanted to say hello to his youngsters out in Arizona. Harry Sullins was here and did well. Al Acosta, the Californian. Tom Kreitz, very talented young performer from down in Tampa, Florida, doing a good job this week. Norm Duke from Fort Worth, and Randy Lightfoot from my part of the country, St. Charles, Missouri. Greg Rourke is a talented young man out of California. Joe Berardi, good to have the man from Brooklyn back on track. And Amleto Monticelli, the Italian by way of Venezuela, finishing in that position there. Granger is set to go, and we'll be back with more after this.
My father is the greatest person I know. If you had a race with my father, he'd always let you win at the end.
I love my pop very much. He still calls me up and says, "How's my boy?"
When I grow up, I want to be like my dad.
When was the last time you took a picture of your dad?
There's a vacancy at the Bates Motel.
Norman, is that you?
No, it's Buzz McKenzie, and it could be you. Look for this display and enter Bud Light Psycho sweepstakes to win a Bud Light party with Buzz McKenzie at the Psycho Mansion. You can even get a mug like Spud's at participating retailers. Wow!
That Spud is so cool, it's scary.
Cowboys.
Burger King introduces a new burger with a genuine Western flavor. The Bullseye Barbecue Burger. 2 flame-broiled burgers on a Western bun with melted cheese, sizzling bacon, and topped with a smoky Western-style barbecue sauce. The Bullseye Barbecue Burger won't be around for long, so get it while you can. You only have to ride as far west as Burger King. The best food for fast times.
Today, NBC shines with an encore presentation of the Superstars Finals. The Cardinals' Vince Coleman, Heisman Trophy winner Vinny Testaverde, and football speedsters Willie Gault and Herschel Walker. Who will outshine them all? The answer lies in the stars, the Superstars on NBC Sports World.
Rochester, that's the Blues Brothers there?
It sure looks like it.
Purvis Granger and Mike Aulby in our second match. And it'll be Granger to start things off. He defeated Pete Weber 210 to 205. And a good start for Purvis Granger.
What a confidence builder for Purvis Granger to win that first match against somebody as talented as Pete Weber. It's going to make it that much tougher for Mike Aulby.
Albee from Indianapolis, 27 years old, career earnings of over $700,000. And Mike has a problem with his first ball. He leaves the 7-8-4.
And not an easy spare. He'll go cross lane with a lot of ball speed and try to get the ball between the 4 and the 7. Mike, in talking to him during his practice before the telecast, mentioned that the lanes were a little drier today. He was getting more hook, and he was having trouble keeping the ball left of the head pin or having the ball actually roll out. In other words, lose its momentum.
He covers it. Mike's 6th appearance in the TV finals this year. Last year here, the man from Indianapolis in his 9th year on tour finished dead last. He did cash 53rd.
Yeah, Mike is a very consistent casher. He's one of the top left-handers that I've ever seen bowl, Jay. He's going to be around a long time. Today,
that's high praise from, if I might say, the greatest left-hander of them all.
Thank you, Jay. Mike, again, his problem today is going to be, I think, more than anything else, carrying the 7-pin because the ball's hooking more today. It's coming in at a wider angle to the pocket. It might be behind the head pin more often than not. That's trouble.
We almost got a break there. He leaves the 8-pin.
Now, you can see Mike's kind of confused. He doesn't really know what's happened out there. He feels he's making good shots, but if you watch the ball, it's rolling so early on the lane and then kind of almost straightening out on the back end. And the reason it's doing that is there's more friction today, and Mike is using a bowling ball that he feels won't hook, and it's still hooking more than he expects, so he's confused. So Mike goes for this spare. He'll use more ball speed and throw it fairly direct. Now, what I mean by the ball rolling early, Jay, in case you were kind of wondering, and you might have been, is that the ball, because of the friction on the lane, makes the ball, it gets too much early friction. The ball rolls too soon. You want the ball to go into a certain pattern. That is a skid, then a roll, then a hook. But you want it to skid at least 25 to 30 feet before it hooks. His is going way too early, too much roll.
A little high again. He's been high over on 34 on a couple of occasions. He leaves the 6-10.
And Purvis is basically having the same problem Mike's having, except that Mike gets more on the ball anyway. Now, Purvis, you can see the ball. Watch how soon it starts to roll out. Way too soon. He wanted the ball to skid farther, and he's had trouble, as you mentioned, Jay, on this lane 4 times now.
Ooh, and more trouble. He's open here. Granger finds himself in a hole down 11. I mentioned this is his 2nd year on tour.
Now, all the players that I talked to before the telecast said the lanes were hooking more today, and the problem is that there's only a certain place on the lane that you can play. If you're left-handed, you're going to be out around the 5 board. If you're right-handed, you're going to be between the 5th and 10th board. The problem is because the lanes are hooking more, they need more ball speed. That was a great shot.
Strike in the 3rd for Granger. Albee up by 11.
Most good players can adjust their ball speeds, Jay. The problem is that when they try to throw a little bit too hard, they lose control. They can't be consistent. When they lose consistency, that's when you get the big splits and the tough spares.
Albee very consistent this week all the way through. He was 7th or better. Finally ended up in the number 3 spot.
let's see what kind of adjustment Mike can make now. It's very important that he make a good adjustment early in the match before Purvis gets a good start and gets too relaxed. A little more speed.
So a strike in the third for Albee. Up by 11 pins. Mike does a lot of work with the young bowlers in the Indianapolis area. And
you can see a lot more effort into that shot. He really was a little quicker to the foul line, got more ball speed. The next adjustment, if that ball had hooked on him, would have been to actually loft the ball out in the lane a little farther, and delay the roll, get it farther down the lane. Mike's making good adjustments, and that's experience. That shows up right there. The experienced player making the correct adjustments. Purvis is going to have to do basically the same thing on lane 34.
Another strike for Albee. A 21-pin lead for Mike Aulby. We'll be back with more after this from your local station.
Tonight, Hunter and McCall are marooned in a house of murder.
You're welcome to stay the night.
And all the suspects are dying to get out. A Halloween Hunter tonight.
Fire! Fire!
Fire. If fire strikes, can you protect yourself, your home, your family? Now you can with Cease Fire, the new easy-to-use compact firefighter that combines for the first time in one extinguisher the flame-quenching force of two of the world's most powerful firefighting agents. But don't let the compact size fool you. Cease Fire can put out bigger fires than extinguishers more than twice its size and put them out faster. Ask for Cease Fire at these leading stores today.
I want you to show me how you dance.
The best American play of the 80s, raves Time magazine. Neil Simon's Broadway Bound. Made up of moments like the scene in Act 2, when a mother and son begin to dance. The son awkward with delight, the mother suddenly, miraculously young all over again. But the moment is not here on television. It only happens when it's live. It's the moment when the audience dances too. Broadway Bound at the Forest Theater. Call now for tickets.
Evening Magazine's Nancy Glass and Ray Murray on the next time out.
Granger with a strike in the fourth and leaving the 7-pin here in the fifth and getting the spare. While we were away, Granger was high again on lane 34, but he got a strike anyway.
He crossed it over, and he's trying to get more ball speed, Jay, and it's very obvious that he's trying that, but he's actually losing the ball off his hand. Whether his hands are perspiring too much or whether he's just out of time by trying to get more ball speed, I'm not sure, but he is losing the ball off his hand, and when you do that, anything can happen.
Albee going for 3 in a row. He got a break. And he's a very happy bowler, Mr. Albee.
And what a great reaction. That's one of those, hey, now we're even, partner.
Yeah, that's true.
You got one, I got one.
They average out, don't they?
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
You never feel like you get even, Jay.
No. Albee has the lead. Mike's just 5'8", 160 from Indianapolis, Indiana. His average this year, 216.6, is third on tour. High game this week was 279. He brought that one from way out.
He sure did. And Mike Aulby is a lot like a left-handed Pete Weber as far as the arc of the ball. They both try to get the ball well down the lane and break it very sharply on the back. And that's why I felt that Mike might have trouble carrying the 7-pin today. But he's been fortunate to have the ball hit half pocket. As you see this one, the 5-pin go into the 10. That's power. That was the best shot Purvis Granger has made on lane 34 since early in his first match against Pete Weber. He got that one out in front of him well. He didn't lose it off his hand. He had good firm ball speed on it, and that's what he needs if he's going to have any chance at all in this match against Mike Aulby. He needs good speed and good launch in the ball. He has to delay that break point, Jay. He has to get it well down the lane.
Granger is 1-3 in TV finals. He's behind his last year earnings mark of $34,970. A chance to make up for that today. A lead of 33 pins for Mike Aulby here in this second match. We'll have more in a moment.
Mark! Hey, Mark! I see you got one of those rhinos. Next thing you know, he's going to tell us it's got horns.
Unleash your game. Roll a rhino. The Rhino, from Brunswick, a urethane ball designed for professional and high-performance bowlers.
Listen to the sound of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave sets up my beard, so my shaver shaves closer, and I get a smoother shave. Listen to Williams Electric Shave. The sound of a closer, smoother shave.
Fancy perfuming aftershave. It's got to be a quarterback's locker.
Real guys who get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
There's something about today's Aqua Velva, man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
Old soldiers never die, but neglected batteries do. That's why I feel better with a Delco battery under the hood. Seal tight, maintenance free. With plenty of startup power to handle cold mountain weekends.
Precision AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
We old soldiers spend our time on live trout, not dead batteries.
Now get up to $5 back on Delco batteries. See your retailer for details.
Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Chiefs battle the Bears.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Bruce Wilson of Kodak, wonderful company, and they have over 50,000 employees here in the Rochester area, and over 10,000 of them are in bowling leagues.
I like to hear that, Jay. Being a bowling proprietor, that sounds great.
Well, Kodak, of course, has been allowing us to keep memories for many years, and we'll have some magic memories here this afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the sights and sounds of the fall tour on NBC. And Albee leaving the 2-4-7. Well, to point out, he's had 3 re-racks already in this match.
He has, and that means that's all he's allowed, Jay. So if the pins are off spot, Mike's going to have to shoot them as they stand. See, look at the sharp break on Mike's bowling ball on the back end of the lane there. And that starts on the first part of the lane. Because the ball gets too much friction, as I said earlier, it starts to roll too soon. That creates that sharp break on the back, and you lose control. Tough spare, cross lane. He's going to play this down the left side of the lane, make it even tougher.
I got it.
Boy, he got it.
Yeah. Just did.
That's why they paint those pins.
30-pin lead for Albee. $18 300 games this year. He's had 3. His last 300 game was in the Hammer Open Boulevard Bowl earlier this year. Four-pin is standing for Albee here in the 8th frame.
Now, again, obviously the ball's hooking too soon and it's hooking too sharply on the back. Mike is going to have to make an adjustment. It's either going to have to be he's going to loft the ball farther out on the lane, or he's going to have to find a different place on the lane where he can get a good ball reaction. And that's what really the last resort. He doesn't want to move out of the area of the lane he's playing, out around the 5 board, because all week long he's never been able to play anywhere else, so he wouldn't have any confidence. He wants to stay where he's confident, but he's not really sure how he's going to keep it on the left side of the head pin yet.
Mentioned he was 53rd here last year, and in '85, of course, when he was Bowler of the Year, he finished 4th. Last year, Granger made 3 TV finals. Finished 3rd in Tucson. Wow, that's a good looker there.
That's the best ball he's thrown into it. Both the games he's bowled so far, Jay, and he's getting a little confidence because he sees Albee's in trouble.
He has a chance for a possible 236.
Good concentration. You can see by the expression on his face, he knew he'd rolled the ball well, and he projected it well down the lane. That's what keeps the ball in play, the good projection. If you set it short, it hooks too soon. Setting it short meaning getting it on the lane surface too quickly. The ball gets friction too soon, and it hooks too soon. Let's see if you can repeat that last shot.
Granger in the 9th, taking his time, lane 33.
A little short again. There it goes.
Oh, he got a break.
You could actually hear the ball hit the lane, Jay. He set it short, and he knows he was lucky. He doesn't understand why he got away with it, but I'll tell you what. The look on his face is, oh my. As soon as he lets go of this ball, watch the expression on his face. He knows it's going to hook, and he's thinking, oh no. You can see it in his eyes. And he got it to cross over, and he feels very fortunate. Mike Aulby right now is thinking, now he's one up on me on the crossovers. Maybe I'll get lucky and get one back.
And Albee with a possible 245. This crowd warming up as these two are putting on quite a show.
They're in a situation now where Purvis Granger has a possible 236. He's already bowled through 9 frames, as you know. Mike Aulby needed that strike in the 9th to have any chance at all to shut Purvis Granger out. Now he can go at 245. If he gets the first 2 hits in the 10th, he's a winner. If he gets the first one, Purvis Granger's still in the match.
This is Albee's 6th appearance in the TV finals this year. Made the finals at the Firestone. And Mike Aulby in action.
Very fortunate here. Mike lost his concentration. Something bothered him in the background. Again, I think it's the noise from the other side of the bowling center. And he wasn't happy with the release, and he feels very fortunate. Watch the pin action. Very fortunate that he carried the corner pin, especially the 10 pin, on that type of a hit. This is the key shot for Mike. Right now, if he strikes, he's a winner. If he doesn't, Purvis Granger could strike out in the 10th and win the match. Way wide.
Oh my, he's got a problem. That just stayed out there.
Right now, the pin count, which was very important to that shot, it really doesn't make any difference what he does on this spare. Purvis Granger has to strike to win. You can see Mike did try to make an adjustment. How wide that ball was, almost in the channel. As a matter of fact, Mike did throw 10 balls in the channel this week during the competition. In 42 games, he had 10 balls in the channel.
Oh, what a conversion. That's the shot of the afternoon. The veteran with a very, very important shot.
Well, now, all right, as you see that Mike converting that spare, the spare really wasn't that important. He was very relaxed on it, and he was just showing off, Jay.
Yeah, he's showing off, is right.
This is the shot. To win, Purvis Granger must strike on this ball.
Looking good.
All right, we're still in a match now.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Mike Aulby finished with 232. Purvis Granger with this strike will be in the 230s. Possible 236.
Ernie Schlegel there in the background, the president of the PBA Tour players.
And Ernie is a very conscientious president. He is very much involved in what's happening with the PBA. Now, this is what we're here for, Jay. A professional bowler needing a strike to win the match.
And he was high. And he was fighting that high shot all day on that lane. Albee is the winner.
Good match, Jay. It was very exciting. Came right down to the last ball. That's what we like to see.
So it will be Purvis Granger picking up $6,500 and finishing 4th here, as Mike Aulby will have a chance to advance, and he will be going up against Marshall Holman. The left-hander Albee and the magnetic Marshall Holman will be going at it in match 3.
Kodacolor VRG 200 film presents The Color of Love.
This is the day we all come together to celebrate and share our love. The gift we give one another, the gift of love from the one above. Well, don't you know we're all part of the color of life?
There's no better way to picture your life. Kodacolor VRG 200 speed film.
The color of life.
If you're looking for the only family wagon that gives you front-wheel drive, an available overhead cam fuel-injected V6, a choice of long or short wheelbase, and an unbeatable 770 protection plan, then look no further. It's gotta be the best-selling family wagon in the world, the unequaled Dodge Caravan. It's gotta be a Dodge.
Hey, do-it-yourselfers, if you could take your family on a dream vacation anywhere in America, where would you go? Well, how about New York, Washington, L.A.?
We'd
Yes,
really
30
like-
families will go anywhere in America when they win the Stanley Dream America contest.
then we'd
Win
go.
free transportation on American Airlines, rooms at Holiday Inn hotels, rental cars from budget, and up to $1,000 worth of Stanley too.
We'd go.
Enter today. Look for this display at participating Stanley dealers. You could go anywhere, even Hawaii. Why didn't you say so?
Today, NBC shines with an encore presentation of the Superstars Finals. The Cardinals' Vince Coleman, Heisman Trophy winner Vinny Testaverde, and football speedsters Willie Galt and Herschel Walker. Who will outshine them all? The answer lies in the stars, the Superstars on NBC Sports World.
Mike Aulby has defeated Purvis Granger 232 to 222, and we're looking forward, of course, to what's coming up. Albee and Holman will be scratching at one another, and it should be excellent action.
Well, it is. We've got a former bowler of the year and maybe the best left-hander to play the game in a number of years against one of the most competitive bowlers you'll ever see in your life, folks, in Marshall Holman. He's always exciting.
Holman has a tendency not to bowl as well when these television cameras are on as he would like to over the years.
He has, and he creates, pressure's created in your own mind, as we all know, and Marshall Holman tends to do that. He likes to get fury out there. He wants to be exciting, but at the same time, he tends to lose his concentration when things aren't going his way. Let's see what happens if he gets a bad break or if his opponent gets a good break. That can change the whole complexion of the match very quickly.
We watched Marshall here last night. He was very animated, always competitive. And these two veterans, of course, going to go at it here in just a few moments. Let's tell you about where we're headed on the fall tour for the PBA. Next Saturday, the 7th, we'll be at Indianapolis, Indiana for the $135,000 True Value Open. There will be $200,000 for a 300 game offered. And Saturday the 14th, it's the $200,000 Brunswick action from Chicago area. On the 28th, we have the Budweiser Classic in Columbus, Ohio. And then on Saturday, December the 5th, after a week off, of course, we will have the Touring Players Championship at the Taylor Lanes in Taylor, Michigan. We're ready to go to match 3. Mike Aulby against Marshall Holman.
Okay, Albee on top. He's going to start the match, Jay, and both players that last match struggled more on lane 34 than they did on 33. Holman has chosen to finish on lane 33. He figures he's got a better shot there.
That 7-pin wouldn't go.
And the look on Mike's face explains it all. He just doesn't understand what's happening out there in the lanes. He felt he made a good shot. The ball, because you can see, watch the reaction, see how quickly it's rolling and how sharply it's breaking. Much more than Mike expected. He really was comfortable when he released the ball, and everything went bad. Look at the look on his face. He just doesn't understand it. Excellent coverage. You know, when the best players in the world get confused on a pair of lanes, they can look like anybody else, Jay, out there. Any league ball that you see that's struggling, there's no difference, except that they tend to adjust a little bit quicker than the amateur does.
Wonderful fella, Frank Formicola, the tournament chairman, does so much wonderful work in this area for the bowlers of all ages. Marshall Holman qualifying second. Tournament average. Now he has got some problem that he's not pleased with.
One of Marshall's problems over the years, as great a player as he is he's almost intensely aware of anything that might distract him. Maybe too much so. I think it's hurt his ability to win on television.
Oh, that was a little high and not a good start. There is Marcel Fournier, the proprietor of the Olympic Bowl and one of the leaders in bowling activities in this part of the United States. And here's Holman.
Marshall is, now this ball he's using, this is the first time he's used it in competition. He feels he needs a ball that will not hook as much as the one he used earlier. And again, as I mentioned, the lanes are hooking more today. And the players are having trouble controlling it. Cross lane, a lot of ball speed. And he's not very happy, Jay.
Not happy at all. He's open. And Holman, who came from 80th after the second round of play here to be second from Medford, Oregon, his 13th year on the tour. He won here 2 years ago when he defeated Amleto Monticelli in the championship.
Marshall's still upset about some kind of a movement to his right, and he feels that his first shot was interrupted by someone moving.
Again, he's high.
Again, he's high. He has lost his concentration already, Jay. The first 2 shots of the match, and he's already upset. You can see the look on his face. He just, it's such an important thing for Marshall to maintain his stability emotionally. And as you can see, it's just gone right now. He's very upset. He just lost control of himself, and it's only the second frame. Let's watch his reaction, whether he makes it or doesn't make it.
Oh, well, now that should pick up a little bit of momentum for him right there. There's Terry Schwinnard, Mr. Holman's girlfriend, companion. She's always here rooting for him.
What a great shot this was. It really is going to make a difference in how Marshall makes his next shot because he picked up that spare. It will calm him down a little bit. He'll be a little more confident now. Chance for Albee to get out front early against one of the greatest players that's ever played the game, Marshall Holman.
A little problem for Mike Aulby. His money total in '85, you may remember, broke Earl Anthony's single-year mark. 164,000 plus, set in '81.
Yeah, Mike went over. He was the first bowler to ever earn over $200,000 in a year throwing a bowling ball, and he's going to do a lot of that, Jay. He's just a great player. As we said earlier, we're very fortunate. Our first telecast on NBC's Fall Tour, we have 3 of the best players on the tour, all on the telecast. People, Marshall Holman and Mike Aulby.
And we ought to mention also that Mark Roth was forced to withdraw from the match play because of a sore thumb.
I told him, Jay, if he would learn to release the ball properly, he wouldn't have that problem. He didn't think that was very funny, though.
Well, he's on the verge, of course, of topping your PBA career money leading stat.
Well, he's a great player. He'll do that, and so will Marshall and several other players. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Marshall Holman, who probably will bowl for another 8 to 10 years, go over the $2 million mark. All right, Mike Aulby, he's got a 9-pin lead, third frame. Oops. Now, that wasn't a distraction so much as he had a problem with his grip. He looks like maybe he got a little sweat in the thumb hole, and he thought he was going to drop it, so he did the right thing, set it down, start over, get his concentration back, and make a good shot. Both of these players are so explosive. Their bowling balls hit so hard, they throw strings of strikes that are unbelievable. They don't want the other one to get going before they do. They may never have a chance to catch up.
He splattered those.
He did, and that's the best hit for Mike Aulby on the lanes right there. He'll carry that hit better than he will the solid hit because of the sharp break on his bowling ball coming in so late and behind the head pin. If it's solid in the pocket, again, I feel he'll leave something like a 10 or a 7 pin. Let's see if Marshall has calmed himself down and start making the kind of shots he's capable of.
There we go.
That
Holman.
looks like Marshall, doesn't it?
He had the high game of the tournament here this week at 290. And he has the top average on tour this year, 218.02.
And we have, as I mentioned, those 3 players. They are the top 3 averages on the tour also, Jay.
A little high. Holman leaving the 3-6-10.
He was afraid to look, Jay. He turned his back when he released the ball. He knew it was going to go through the middle of the head pin. And as you can see, he's getting a very sharp break. Even though this is a brand new bowling ball, the lanes are hooking very much on the back. The ball went through the middle of the head pin. He wouldn't even look. Look at his... Oh, I didn't split. Thank you. But it's a difficult spare going cross lane. All right. Well done.
Albee leading by 9. We'll be back with more of the Kodak Invitational from Rochester, New York in just a moment.
That's great. Hope he wanted a Bud Light.
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Now go get pizza.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just all right.
This can happen to good bowlers on lanes with limited distance dressing or short oil. Short oil means oil out to here, 26 feet or less from the foul line. Short oil can make your ball react unpredictably, a big problem. Now, the solution from Ebonite, the new Firebolt SO, a urethane ball with a unique additive to make it roll long, hit hard, and not overreact on today's short oil conditions. Ebonite's new Firebolt SO is the solution to the problems of short oil.
True Value Hardware, it's more than a name.
As a holiday gift or just for yourself, the Corning Thermic 1-quart server keeps drinks piping hot or cold as ice. And it comes in 2 stylish designs to enhance any table, indoors or out. In November, get the Corning Thermic server for just $8.88. Look for the Bargain of the Month banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Chiefs battle the Bears.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Mike Aulby bowling in the 5th frame.
Oh, that's a good break there, Jay. That ball got away again, and it's amazing that they haven't made the... I just can't believe that a bowler of Mike's caliber hasn't made the adjustment. Here's the spare in the previous frame. Mike went high on the nose again, and look at this. Chopped it off, left the
2-4-8 and left that 4, didn't he?
He did, and that opened him up, and he's down to it. And now it's a 3-pin deficit for Mike Aulby in his 5th frame. And he almost had the 5-7 split, as you saw, leaving only the 7-pin. Mike's going to have to make some adjustments very quickly so he can get the ball in the pocket area, or Holman's going to be long gone.
Holman is up by 3. And let's see if he is ready to try and take command in this match. His 6th appearance in the TV finals this year. Was the top seed in Miami, but lost to Walter Ray Williams. Strikes here.
Marshall's doing all right on 34, Jay, but he's struggling a little bit on 33. The important thing for Marshall, and he chose to finish on 33, which means he'll bowl his 10th frame there. The important thing for Marshall is to find a shot on 33. If he doesn't do it soon, as I mentioned, both players are so explosive. A string of 4 or 5 or 6 strikes in a row by either one can be expected at any time.
Mentioned that he seems to carry a monkey on his back regarding TV appearances. His career TV record is 49-67.
Sounds like the Cubs. Marshall made a great adjustment here. A great adjustment.
That's a big plus for him.
The reaction of Marshall Holman, pumping himself up. Now, watch the ball. He played farther inside on the lane, more toward the center of the lane, arced it out more, made a great reaction on the lane. Now watch Marshall. He knows he's delivered a great shot. The very flamboyant Marshall Holman. That's a word I learned from you, Jay.
Flamboyant.
Yeah.
Nice word. Albee comes right back.
And that's where he has to hit
warming
right
to the task now.
That's where he's got to hit him, right there, light in the pocket.
Albee's down by 13. Look at this. As he knew that was very important for him. He's asked for a re-rack here. That's his second.
Now, Mike has, on that shot, he made a different release. By that I mean, now, if the ball is spinning on the lane, it goes farther before it grips the lane, much like a tire on ice. If you roll it end over end, it tends to grip the lane earlier. In Mike's previous match and the first part of this one, he was rolling the ball basically end over end. That ball, he had more side spin. It went farther before it gripped the lane. Let's see if he does it on 33. A minor change in release, major change in how the ball reacts. There it is. Didn't quite get back. He's trying to get around the ball. Watch his hand release. As he comes around the side of the ball, Jay, he's getting more side turn on it, trying to delay the break.
And he left the 3-9. Pete Weber finishing 5th. Purvis Granger 4th. Now Albee and Holman. And the loser of this one gets $8,000. The winner moves on to the championship. And of course, as always, an NBC Sports tradition, uninterrupted coverage of the final game.
Wants to get both pins with the ball.
Didn't do it.
Didn't do it. He was afraid he'd just get the front one, and all he got was the back one, Jay. Chance for Marshall to pretty much put the match away if he strikes in the 7th and 8th frame.
He is up by 25, and he can take a giant step forward here.
A dangerous fascination
Do you know for personal life?
leads to dangerous emotions.
I think I did this.
Jimmy Smith's Judith Light, Dangerous Affection, Sunday.
In millions of homes, millions of people aren't just brushing. They're using Listerine because it reduces plaque by up to 50% over brushing alone to fight plaque and bad breath. For better oral hygiene, millions use Listerine.
When the burning, itching, and soreness of hemorrhoids flare up, Tux medicated pads give you soothing, cooling relief on contact. For hemorrhoid flare-up, get Tux from Park Davis.
There's a party going on this November with all your favorite stars.
What? It's good times and good fun when Evening Magazine celebrates its 10th anniversary with Elizabeth Taylor. Darling, you look marvelous.
Billy Crystal.
Michael Jackson.
Can you believe it?
It's the party of the decade.
And you're invited.
I sure hope so.
Celebrate 10 years on top with Evening Magazine.
Weeknights at 7:30.
Magnum's John Hillerman on the next Will Shriner Show.
Monday at 11 on Channel 3.
You pull it out all right?
Well, now, wait a minute. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Why can't you re-rack that and run it for him and let him fix it in New York? Oh, okay. What do you want to do this? Right. Scott Devers, the man who qualified first. Holman 227 to 172 over Albee. Jay Randolph along with Earl Anthony, and Holman finishing with 4 strikes, 8 in that match.
And again, his emotions are very, very obvious, Jay. It's very easy for Marshall to get down on himself and then come back and get everything going and be very aggressive and pull a match out as he did against one of the best players we have on the tour, and Mike Aulby.
One of the things we always like to do when we have the opportunity is to pick the brains of this Hall of Famer right here, the old left-hander, and talk about what may be of interest to you out there regarding the world of the Professional Bowlers Association. And one thing I was thinking about, and we talked about it this morning, and I thought I would let you chat about it today, is how the Bowler of the Year is selected. I think sometimes people are not sure what the criterion is, who are the voters, what happens in that situation.
Good point. A good question, Jay. As you already know, we had Pete Weber on the telecast earlier, and he lost his first match. He is the leader right now, you might say, in the chances to be Bowler of the Year this year. Marshall Holman, who is still on the telecast, has a good opportunity if he wins this tournament to put himself right in the race for something he wants more than anything else in bowling, to be Bowler of the Year. The criteria, as you mentioned, is that there are actually two awards for Player of the Year, Bowler of the Year. The Bowler of the Year is selected by the Bowling Writers Association, who have membership of over 300 bowling writers throughout the world, and there's a ballot selected by a committee sent out to all the bowling writers, and they are all allowed one vote. That's their Bowler of the Year award. The Player of the Year, which is the other designation, is selected by all the members of the Professional Bowlers Association, well over 3,000 members. They are sent a ballot also, but it lists every player who might even be close, and then they select the Player of the Year by ballot.
Well, there you know how it's done, and of course we'll all be interested to see what happens. The championship match, uninterrupted here on NBC, is coming up right after these messages.
Chucky.
In the 1988 Olympic Games, something special will happen. Every American athlete will bring home the gold. Gold-tipped, long-lasting Kodak batteries. The official batteries of the 1988 Olympic Games.
Got Western taste, so does Burger King. The new Bullseye Barbecue Burger. 2 smoking, flame-broiled patties on a long Western bun with sizzling bacon, melted cheese, and a zesty shot of barbecue sauce. Got Western taste. New Bullseye Barbecue Burger could be just your shot. But hurry, this offer will be hitting the trail real soon. Burger King, the best food for fast times.
This bud's for all that you do.
Today, a landscaper. Tomorrow, a college student. Yep. I finally took your advice, Mike.
You taught him.
Already you're smart.
Oh, you knew. They say he's a lot like you. Yeah, you make America work, and this bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
To a future architect. And to a brother who made it possible.
This bud's for you.
It's Scott Devers from Centerville, Indiana, going against Holman.
This should be a great match. Now, Scotty Devers isn't going to be affected as much by the change in the lane conditions as the other players. You'll get a chance to see him bowl in a minute. Marshall Holman is starting the match. Scotty Devers has chose to finish on lane 33. Marshall has made a major adjustment on lane 33. That lane is hooking more for him. He's moved more to the center of the lane, and he's more confident now that he can make good shots.
Well, that's a good way for Holman to begin. You know, Earl, there have been 25 different winners in 30 tournaments this year. I think that shows the competitiveness out here.
It definitely does. A lot of great young players on the tour, and here's one of them in Scotty Devers. He's a one-time champion. He won earlier this year. Now watch this arm swing, folks. Very unique. His forte, obviously, is being very, very accurate. He doesn't turn the ball much. He doesn't hook it much, but he's always in control.
Scotty has left the 8 pin. He qualified first with that 219.07 average. 5th year on tour. Captured his first PBA title in Tucson on the summer tour. He's been having some thumb problems. He said last night his thumb's like a hamburger.
Oh, my. Well, that's typical of somebody that's bowling 100 to 150 games a week. That'll happen. Scotty is obviously, again, by virtue of his accuracy, one of the better spare shooters on the tour, especially among the left-handers. But if you watch his style of play, you always see he'll lay the ball down early on the lane and try to get it into an end-over-end, a forward roll up to the pocket. Very seldom do you see him arc the ball away from the pocket area. Doesn't like that.
Oh, what a big break. Got a kickback.
Oh, my. And that's the kind of thing that could make Marshall Holman change his attitude. If he doesn't strike on this one, gets a bad break, a 10-pin, a 4-pin, it'll change Marshall's attitude about the whole match. Now watch Scotty go to the foul line and see him come up with the line. Look at that. That's what makes that ball cross over. Got a little fast with his feet and actually yanked the ball across the head pin.
Attacking on lane 34 is high and a split.
All right, now he's thinking, Scotty got away with his, I got the bad break. Scotty actually threw the ball a little more wild than Marshall did. Marshall's was closer to the pocket. Scotty got the strike, the good break. Marshall got the big split, the bad break.
Going for the 4, 6, 7, 9, 10.
Almost picked it up.
He did almost pick it up, and it was fine effort, but Holman finds himself open here. Cashed in 17 of the 19 events that he has bowled this year. Back on track on lane 33. Devers with a 12-pin lead in the early going. This final match uninterrupted. An NBC Sports tradition for you. Devers 17-7 in match play this week, but he was only 3-5 last night. He was hoping, Earl, as he leaves the 2, that his thumb would heal a little bit. He said, as I said, it was really kind of mushy.
And that'll make the player wince a little bit when the ball reaches the bottom of the swing, and it could help him get in trouble by tugging the ball a bit. Scotty right now is just rushing the foul line, and again, his strength is in his accuracy. If he gets a little fast with his feet, that diminishes from his ability to keep the ball in the pocket area. Scotty very seldom will beat himself. We almost always have to go out and get Scotty. You can't afford to give anything away to him. He's very difficult to beat in match play. Makes very few mistakes.
Devers only weighs 145 pounds. I think this fivesome we've had here this afternoon indicates you don't have to be big and strong to get the job done on the lanes.
He lost another shot there, Jay. He's just, again, the lane changed drastically today, the surface. Obviously, the players are having trouble keeping the ball in the pocket area. It's hooking more for him, but it shouldn't affect Scotty's ball quite as much as the other players. I think Scotty's just a little tentative right now, and he's really trying to fit the ball, and he's rushing his feet a little bit. Again, he's a very good spare shooter. This will be cross lane for the 4-7. Keep in mind that this championship match means more. It means obviously a lot to anybody to have a chance to win a PBA title, but it means more in a lot of different ways to Marshall Holman. An opportunity to get into the Bowler of the Year race, the most important thing in his mind for his career.
Got to hurry, and it did. Well, you know, no one has won 2 matches today. Marshall's got that chance. Oh, look at him. Number 1. Yes, sir. He's beginning to feel it, isn't he?
He is, and the key for Marshall Holman, I honestly feel this. I've known Marshall since he was about 16 years old. He's changed very little. The key for Marshall is to control his emotions. We've said it many times, but if he doesn't do that, he tends to beat himself. If he can let it out in a positive fashion, he becomes very aggressive and he's difficult to beat. If it gets negative, he'll beat himself.
He's gone for a re-rack here in the 5th frame. Holman the Bowman is rolling now.
He is. He might disappear out of the building. He gets a couple more strikes.
Camera's having a tough time finding him there.
Let's see now. The important thing as you see Marshall Holman's ball going in. Very great shot by Marshall. And the reaction of Marshall. He's got more dance steps than you and I put together, Jay. The important thing for Scotty right now is to get himself back together. He's got to make an adjustment. He's got to slow those feet down and get the ball out in the lane so he's not setting it short and pulling it. Better shot. That's what he wanted. A little slower foot. He's got to get his feet a little slower, and he did. He was much better balanced at the foul line that time. Got the ball out in front of him and on the line he wanted. Good ball speed there.
There has been at least one left-hander in the TV finals of each of the 3 Kodak Invitationals. Of course, today we had 2 involved in the finals this afternoon. Devers and Mike Aulby, who finished 3rd, winning $8,000.
Shot, Jay. What a great shot. Look at this. Now watch the ball, and that's exactly how he wanted to throw it and wear it. Now look at the roll on the back end over end. A solid 9, and the head of one of the pins as it went by into the pit kicked the 9 pin forward. Never should have happened to begin with. The ball was thrown so well, and then it ended up being a good break for Scotty, and Marshall's thinking, oh, he got lucky again.
And Holman has just asked for the re-rack and got that at 6. Here it is.
And if you noticed, after each time that Scotty got some sort of a break, for example, the crossover strike, Marshall went up and got the big split. This time, he kicked the 9 pin forward. Marshall again gets the big split. It affects him emotionally, and it's a shame because that talent is just obviously just tremendous.
Holman now finds himself down by 18. Even just a moment ago. And Devers working on a double. And he will bowl in the 7th. But here is Holman now in the 7th.
You always, when you're bowling a player like Marshall, especially Marshall Holman, you look to see what he's capable of striking out and shooting. Right now, 230. You figure he's going to shoot 230. And that's how you plan your game.
Probably good advice.
You plan your game based on what Marshall's capable of shooting if he strikes out, because there's a good chance he's going to do it.
He won the '85 Kodak Championship here. So he's trying to win as he continues to be very animated, trying to win for the 2nd time in 3 years here. Career earnings, as you see, for Scott. He's got a chance to double his career earnings if he wins it all here today. Scotty heating up. That's 3 in a row for him, and he's up by 28.
And what a great shot. He's showing so much poise, Jay.
Marshall Holman and Scott Devers in this Kodak Invitational. Strikes again.
A lot of poise from a guy that's just getting really acclimated to bowling in front of a national television audience and against one of the greatest players of all time, Marshall Holman. But again, the match isn't over. Devers going at a 2:28 pace. Marshall can still bowl 2:30.
Always talking to himself. Sometimes I wonder if he understands what he's talking about, because he really does get heated up.
Oh boy, does he ever.
Did he ask for a re-rack? He didn't.
He did ask for a re-rack, and they unfortunately re-racked the wrong lane. So Marshall's going to take a break and wait for him to do it on the lane he wants it on.
Oh, all right.
Little confusion with the back end there, the mechanic.
Next Saturday, I hope you'll join us in Indianapolis, the Woodland Bowl, the $200,000 prize for a perfect game. And with another strike.
And still in the match.
It's 3 in a row.
Scotty Devers really has his fate in his own hands at this point, Jay. If he strikes here, he'll be going at a 2:38 pace. He will need any kind of a mark then in the 10th frame to lock up the match. If he doesn't strike here, he'll need a double in the 10th to lock up the match.
He doubled in the 10th to win his first title in Tucson this year.
Bingo! Bingo it is. Now all he needs is any kind of a spare with a decent count, and we have a champion. Strikes. He's a winner.
There it goes, and he is the champion. Scotty Devers winning his second PBA title and the $27,000 first prize. Marshall Holman finishes second. The PBA Fall Tour has been sponsored by Kodak Batteries, the official batteries of the 1988 Olympics. Go for the gold. By Brunswick, proud sponsor of Team USA and supporter of bowling in the Olympics. By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Toyota Trucks, setting the standards for quality and value. Scotty Devers is the champion. For Earl Anthony, Jay Randolph reminding you this has been a presentation of Bud Sports and the PBA Incorporated in association with NBC Sports.
Mom's magic meatloaf is weighing on you like a ton of bricks. Send the bubbles of Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Because speed is what you need to lift the heaviness off your stomach and relieve your pounding headache fast. Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
Mark! Hey, Mark! I see you got one of those rhino people. Next thing you know, he's going to tell us it's got horns.
Unleash your game. Roll a rhino. The Rhino. From Brunswick, a urethane ball designed for professional and high-performance bowlers.
If you could add for Toyota quality and get a truckload of free options, free chrome bumpers, style steel wheels, sports striping, full carpeting, cloth bench seats, all free. $555 worth of free options. The new limited edition Toyota trucks. Buy Toyota quality first. The money you save is yours to play with. Now who's looking out for number one?
Toyota.
Who could ask for anything more?
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denorex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denorex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denorex.
Today, NBC shines with an encore presentation of the Superstars Finals. The Cardinals' Vince Coleman, Heisman Trophy winner Vinny Testaverde, and football speedsters Willie Gault and Herschel Walker. Who will outshine them all? The answer lies in the stars, the Superstars on NBC Sports World.
The very little.
This is what it's like to be functionally illiterate. Unable to read a job application, a street sign, or a bedtime story to a child. There are 27 million Americans like this. 27 million.
And
we could help them, but we need your help. Call the Coalition for Literacy at this number and volunteer. The only degree you need is a degree of caring.
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can.
Suppose for just a moment that you have an accident or some other medical emergency. Wouldn't it be good to have a friend with you? Someone who could tell the medical team about any health condition you might have that would affect your treatment, like diabetes, heart condition, or an allergy to the drugs they use. That friend is the nonprofit foundation called Medic Alert. A bracelet or necklace alerts the medical team to the most important facts about your health. And a phone call puts them instantly in touch, day or night, with the Medic Alert central computer system, so they can get more detailed information and even contact your personal physician.
A Medic Alert bracelet enables the emergency physician to make a rapid diagnosis and provide adequate treatment. And that can be very important. So please get and wear a Medic Alert bracelet.
And join the millions who have the security that Medic Alert offers.
Medic Alert. When you can't speak for yourself, Medic Alert can make all the difference. Call now, toll free, 1-800-ID Alert.
Colleges today are looking for a new kind of student. Adults. Adults who want to get ahead.
They're looking for homemakers, working people, and men and women in the armed forces who are on their way up in their professions and need further education to advance their careers.
If you're one of those people, then CLEP, the college-level examination program, can help you. CLEP consists of examinations in 35 subjects which you can take to demonstrate knowledge you've acquired on the job, in the service, or by studying on your own.
Your scores on these tests can earn you credit in some 2,000 U.S. colleges and universities.
For more information, call or visit the admissions office of the college of your choice and ask how you can earn college credit by participating in CLEP, the college-level examination program.
We have tried to train parents to be in touch not only with the networks but with their local stations, to begin to give them some feedback of what they think is good that they see. I think that kind of feedback has to come from more than the presidents of national organizations. It really has to come from people who have a concern in their own hearts about what they're seeing and what the effect of that will be. I think that's happening.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
It's George Burns and George Burns in a network television premiere.
My God. Guess again.
Oh, God, you devil. Monday.
It'll be fabulous.
Hi, I'm Dabney Coleman. Join me Halloween when I host Saturday Night Live with the Cars and special guest Elvira. Don't get the wrong idea. She's a...
You're a good egg, young and independent, and faced with financing your first new car. It's the classic dilemma. What can you expect with no credit history or no cosigner? Fortunately, your Quality Plus Ford dealer is ready to assist you in getting that new car loan without the hassle. You can get your credit history established and exactly the new Ford you can afford. If you're a young buyer and in the market for a new car, see your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
It's something old but new to you. you've had for years. You want to try, you want to fly, and sometimes you want to cry. Then look around and there you'll find a friend you least expect.
Sure could use the help.
Someone who can give the time. Take the time to give and care. Kids say.
Take the time, for kids' sake.
Tuesday, be there for minute-by-minute, start-to-finish live election coverage with exclusive poll results, expert analysis, all from your hometown team. Election 87, the race for mayor, beginning Tuesday at 8 on Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
The 11th Annual Philadelphia Craft Show to benefit the Philadelphia Museum of Art, November 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. See the finest handmade crafts in the country.
The Secret Passion of Liz Taylor, Monday on Evening Magazine.
Today on Sports World from Miami Beach, Florida, it's a summit meeting of the superpowers of sport as we bring you a special encore presentation of the 1987 Superstars Final. 10 of the world's best athletes are placed on an equal basis. They compete to see who is truly the champion, including Herschel Walker, Mark Gastineau, Willie Gault, Vinny Testaverde, Vince Coleman, Todd Worrell, Greg Foster. Plus, from Fairhill Racecourse in Maryland, it's a test of pure horsepower as we bring you same-day coverage of the richest event of its kind in the world, the $250,000 Breeders' Cup Steeplechase.